talk about the online dating space. You had mentioned, you're not really dating at this point. You're in a longer term relationship, but you had said in the past, like you would meet these women online. What's your just overall thoughts and impressions on the dating marketplace online? And is this a good place for guys to go if they're single? Obviously, you got to go where they are, right? So yeah, let's kind of open up that box there.
Yeah, I've got a chapter in my book that essentially talks about how to get girls online because it's probably the most convenient and easy way for guys to meet women. The problem is that most guys haven't done anything with their life. Like they haven't leveled themselves up. Most men, when I talk to them and they're struggling with, their dating life, I'll ask them on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you rate yourself? And they're like 4 or 5, maybe a 6, most of the time. And they're being reasonably honest. And the truth of the matter is that when you look at the stats on the way women behave online, and because of their hypergamous nature, women always want to date across and up on a social economic scale. They don't want to date across and down. They want to be with somebody better. Like I said earlier, they want to be with a giant. So the vast majority of men that are out there right now, like it's never been easier to stand out from the crowd. The vast majority of guys that women are coming across on things like dating apps are mostly plugged in beta males, right? They're the kind of guys that are like, well, where do you want to meet? And what time do you want to meet? And, like on what day of the week do you want to meet, sort of thing. And they'll leave it all in their court. And these chicks are like, another one of these bozos. And they just sort of like ghost them, or they show a lot like low interest or disinterest. And these guys get frustrated. They don't get what they want. So if you're good, like if you have some game, if you're a good looking guy, you've got some style, you've got your life sorted away, like you're at least a 7 or 8 out of 10. Like maybe even have a little bit of room for improvement, then use dating apps and you'll do well. But if you're not in that top percentile, you're going to have a very difficult time. You're going to get ghosted. You're not going to get a lot of matches. You're going to get disinterest. You're going to get women that are indifferent, to you. They're going to cancel. They're going to flake. You're going to have all kinds of problems. You're going to get frustrated. And, like there's not a lot of great women out there that are long-term relationship type of material. In North America anyway, like the vast majority of women that are out there, like as they get older, they carry around a lot of baggage and trauma from the past. 1 in 5 women are on SSRIs or antidepressants. They're overly entitled. They're bratty. They think that they're a 10 when they're really a 4. They're obese. They're covered in tattoos. Like there's all kinds of problems that you can, they're feminists. They've got bad attitude. The patriarchy's oppressing them with everything. Like you hear all these narratives and it's like, the only way that you're going to get past all of that, because you got to dig through a lot of dirt to find gold, is if you're a top shelf guy, because that's what all the women want. They want to select the best that they can get because of their hypergamous nature. So if you want to do well online dating, you'll do very well. Hypergamy is a great thing for you if you're a top shelf man.
Yeah, I think 20% of the men online are competing for 80% of the women and vice versa. I think the average woman swipes right about 4% of the time.
Yeah.
Would you then say, we have a lot of younger guys that are listening to this. Our audience is kind of split. I think I told you there at the beginning. So there's a lot of guys that are kind of in their 20s. They're at this point in life where like their opportunity to grow, excel, chase greatness is actually right in front of them. And I would advise a lot of these guys, focus on yourself. Like take a season of, whether you want to call it monk mode, take a season of isolation, build yourself up, become in the 20%. So would that be advice that you would give to maybe a younger guy out there? Like if he's labeling himself as a 4, 5, 6, like become an 8, become a 9. And then where should he begin to focus on if he is trying to ascend up that ladder into the top 20%?
Well, the two most important areas to get the attention of, like, if you want women to be with you and men to look at you and want to be you, you've got to have the optics of masculinity and strength sorted out. And you've got to have your money squared away, because men are success objects, right? Women are beauty objects, men are success objects. So we're very different. So one of the great lies that society tells us is that men and women are exactly the same. And that's like the furthest thing from the truth. We saw that loser, I can't remember his name, Lena something is a name that he adopted in his swimming career, but he was like rated like 400 against men when he was a male swimmer. And then he went into the women's category and he dominated and got all the medals, right? So men and women are not the same. We're very, very different. And I think that the earlier a guy can understand and adopt that truth, and they focus on themselves, and they like, what is it? It's something like 43% of men in North America are considered obese. Like all you have to do is not be fat. Like start there. And then, if that's where you're at right now, then get a gym membership and work on, the optics of a V-taper, because broad shoulders, wide shoulders, and a narrow waist, getting you the 1.62 golden ratio, which I talk about in my book as well, is what women prefer. Like that's what they have historically selected mates on. And having money and resources is super important too, because look, I mean, if you're 20 and she's 19 or something like that, and you're dating in that rate, it doesn't matter if you have wealth, right? Like it's not that significant. But as women get older and more mature, and they're looking to check out of the dating landscape and maybe have kids or settle down or whatever, they're looking for a guy that's competent in the sense that he can make it rain. Like he's got access to financial resources because women can't be working when they're taking care of a baby.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's never been easier to be separated fitness wise, like you said. Like just get in the gym and don't be part of that 40% that is obese. And I would say today's world, it's never been easier to make six. Like you don't need to be like you don't think you need to be a millionaire, but I mean, six figure income, I would say is very easily attainable for every guy out there. Would you agree?
I tell guys aim to be a millionaire by the time you're 30. If you don't hit 30, at least do it by 40. Like it's
Mm.
incumbent on you, especially if you're in North America. And you'd be shocked at the amount of pushback that I get from that. Oh, Rich doesn't understand how the world works. He's disconnected. He inherited silver spoon, all this bullshit. And it's like, if that's your mindset, if that's what you think of yourself, then you're always going to be a loser, right? Winners never quit, quitters never win. And if you're seeing yourself from the get-go as somebody that can accomplish something, and I'm not going to use the word simple, but as reasonable as acquiring $1 million in net worth, I'm sorry, you're just not going to do great in life.
I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here and pin down below in the top comment. You'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.